back around 2017, when Mike D'Antoni was added to the Houston Rockets, he unlocked another upgraded version of the Steve Nash offensive system in James Harden.
Be aggressive, but with an open mind to score or play make when I was at my best. But
they basically took the 7 seconds or less offense that D'Antoni ran and added a 30-point per game scorer who was also clearly one of the best isolation players in the entire NBA, and that is James Harden. He was able to both make every pass that you can make coming off the ball screen, while also, again, making every scoring type of situation you can have in an isolation package. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the next chapter. But from this system, this has created the premium type of player every team wants on their team, which is the big guard, ball dominant scorer who can also make every pass on the floor. This is how you get your Lukas, your Shea, your Cade Cunninghams, your LaMelo Balls, etc. After teams saw the success of a James Harden-led offense, which took the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant to 7 games and was winning in Game 7 without their second best player, Chris Paul, who got hurt, people started seeing the potential success. Even though he didn't get over the hump, the proof of concept was there. And James Harden was averaging some of the most threes, being very efficient by just shooting threes or getting to the hole, making every play, leading the league in assists multiple years. And that framework is how you get people valuing these type of players when they're scouting. He's the mold that all teams are now looking for when they're trying to scout players. Even players coming into the draft now, like Darren Peterson, a lot of people can see the concept coming from James Harden. Even if it's not the most perfect comparison, it's the fact that you have a now big playmaking guard. So you have the guy who can make the reads like a previous Steve Nash and run a heliocentric system, but also has more scoring chops and more physical tools to them so that they can't have as many weaknesses that Steve Nash had, always being a liability on defense and being able to be contained a little bit more with more big physical defenders in the scoring punch. Because Steve Nash was never a very good isolation player. He was always kind of middle of the pack in terms of his isolation numbers. But when you have guys who can be in the same points per possession category or in the same ballpark of that as a Steve Nash, while also being one of the top players in isolation, which accounts for the modern defense of switching, because Steve Nash didn't face as many switches.